everybody, whether you're on the East Coast, West Coast, or around the world. This is Coast to Coast. What's happening, guys? How you doing today?
How was the parade?
Good. Yeah. So the parade and obviously trophy presentation, all that stuff was a ton of fun. You've probably seen some of the stage speeches come out. Specifically, Ernest Jones. His was hilarious. I will have that for tomorrow. I just didn't have time to break up all the film, but yeah, it was it was pretty cool. And then there was estimated over 1 million people downtown. So yeah, very fun, and we had beautiful weather for it, so that was amazing.
Right.
Estimated over 1 million people.
Yeah.
How'd they estimate?
The same way they estimate any of this. They got somebody that takes a picture and goes, yeah, that looks like 1 million people.
Right. So really that's what that came down to. So that's not necessarily true. There's only like 470,000 people that live in Seattle, right?
3.8. 3.8 million.
In the whole area or in the city?
Well, in the metro area, but our metro area is close. So it's not like it's strung out all over the place. Like you have Seattle and Bellevue and Redmond, and all of those are packed right now. You drive straight from one city into the next. So they're not separated by a lot. So although it's not technically Seattle proper, if you want to call it that, I mean, you're a 10-minute drive. So.
Okay.
So yeah, and it wouldn't be a surprise if it was over 1 million people, because there was over 1 million people for the first one. So it's pretty easy to guess that you had equal to or more than the first time, since the population of our city has gone up since then.
Seattle is definitely not the same as Philly.
Well, neither one of them was the same as when the Cubs won the World Series either, because they had 5 million people downtown.
Well, that makes sense, though.
That was a party.
You probably had people fly in to go to that one because they're like, "Oh my God, the Cubs actually won something."
I drove the 4 hours down there to go. I was part of it. That was the only time I've ever seen the city of Chicago shut down. Like the only road you could drive on was Lakeshore Drive. Everything else, Michigan Avenue, all the side streets were all shut down.
Oh, I got you. Just proximity comparison. And yeah, the parade was pretty awesome. We didn't go out to the specific parade route because we were in the stadium for the trophy presentation. Mm-hmm. So we basically watched the parade leave the stadium because they loaded up all the trucks to leave. And so didn't really feel the need to then run out, battle 1 million people, and then, see the same one we just watched leave the stadium.
Did you go to the first one too when Seattle had it?
I did not.
Okay. Yeah. I was going to ask you which one was better, but never mind.
Yeah, no, I wasn't down there for that one. I just couldn't get out of work to do it. So, yeah. In retrospect, it would have been cool to go down there. I just, I had just opened my
Seattle.
I had just opened my auto repair shop.
Seattle has 801,000.
That's just like this. That's just the city of Seattle. Like,
yeah,
that's just the city of Seattle. Like the suburbs and the metro areas, like the 3.8 million.
Yeah, and that number varies. Some of them say 3.5, some say 3.8. I've seen it as high as 4.1, but generally it's kind of in that high 3 million range. So, but in any event, it was gotcha. a pretty great parade. An insane amount of people down there, whether you want to call it 1 million people or not. I mean, you had
well, that all being said, and everybody was safe, no arrests.
Yeah, no. It went off without a hitch. You had You had 40,000 plus in the stadium itself. So yeah.
As if Seattle traffic isn't bad enough, like you always say. How bad was it yesterday?
All right, good. I saw one of your reports.
Yeah, so the traffic surprisingly was not terrible.
Really?
Now, some of that is probably because, right after my earliest morning show, I jumped in the car, and that was hours before the thing started, right?
Okay.
So I hit the road about 7, and the trophy presentation didn't start till 10. The parade didn't start till 11. So I got to Rob's house, and then we just Ubered from Rob's house down to the stadium. So we didn't have to try and find parking or anything like that, right? Like we got dropped off at the ferry terminal and just walked it from there because it's a beautiful day. And then, similar. After it was over, we walked north for a while, and then got an Uber from there. So we got away from the stadium and all the crazy, and so that wasn't too bad. But there was still, even after the parade, people were kind of staying downtown to just kind of finish day drinking, and we got out of town. So we kind of missed the biggest piece of traffic leaving. So when we left, it wasn't bad, but I had to get back for my afternoon show.
So, and did I hear properly that Seattle's schools were not allowed off?
I
heard that all schools in Seattle.
I didn't hear that. But
I know that you don't have any kids, but
yeah. So exactly, I didn't have a dog in that fight, but that does sound like something Seattle would do, and then people's parents would just pull them out anyway, because who cares? You're like, oh, I can't go. Well, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to anyway. So thanks for playing.
Yeah, well, they gave it no excuse either. Like they did no excuse. So like if you say, hey, I went to the parade, that's an unexcused absence.
And
so it's like
that's when I would look at the school and give them the bird.
With as many unexcused absences as I had, who cares?
Right. They called that skipping.
Yes, we did. Yeah, I mean,
the only other thing that I saw.
Oh, good.
Good. The only other thing that I saw that was very hysterical to me was that there was one woman who was in the bike lane riding her bike, and she was like yelling at people that they were in the bike lane.
Oh.
As she was on her way to work because of the parade. She's like, yay, sports, but I still got to get to work and blah, blah, blah. They're like, all the other roads are clear. You're choosing to be a Karen.
Yes.
It was funny. I think NFL memes and Barstool Sports shared that video. Because the guy's like, look, you're going to make me famous on
I'll have to go look, because that sounds hilarious. Based on the parade route, though, there is one of the major like bike paths that it would have crossed, and so that makes sense. But to your point, the other roads were open. So,
very clear. There was nobody on those other roads at all. No cars, no nothing. You could have rode down the middle of the street doing a wheelie. You know what I mean? Had you wanted to. But this woman not only looks like that she didn't, I'll be nice. She had a crate, like a plastic milk crate in the front of her bike. So she absolutely was the Wicked Witch of the West.
Oh, that's amazing.
That is actually really
funny.
I
was going to send it to you, and I didn't. I just laughed for a little bit. I watched it like 4 times because the guy's like, yeah, just keep going. Keep talking because you're just making yourself look ridiculous.
Oh, no question. And Donna, it wasn't me going away from day drinking on purpose necessarily. I just had other things I still had to do. if I would have had the rest of the day off, I absolutely would have joined in on the day drinking, because who doesn't want a day drink on a Wednesday?
Right.
What's happening, Jeremy? So anyway, one thing, since we're just trying to make people mad today, there were so many people that were mad about the Bad Bunny action. I'm gonna boycott and all of this ridiculousness. It goes down as the most watched halftime in Super Bowl history. So I got the top 10 Super Bowls based on viewership. So Bad Bunny, number one, 135.4 million views. Kendrick Lamar last year coming in just behind it, 133.5. And then Michael Jackson, 93, 133.4. And then it starts to dip a bit. 24, Usher at 123, Rihanna at 121. 2015, Katy Perry, 118. 2017 is 117. That was Lady Gaga. And then it goes Coldplay, Bruno Mars, and Black Eyed Peas to round out the top 10. So a little bit of a surprise that some of the other big names that have been in there weren't closer to the top of this list. But you think back to Michael Jackson in 93, 133 million back then. That is a huge number.
Right.
Like some of these are, new enough that the viewership growing just in nature makes sense, right? Because there's some of that anyway, especially as they push this to be the international sport that it is. Michael Jackson didn't benefit from any of that. So even though the number doesn't say it, I would still say that's probably the most watched, even though the number doesn't quite support it.
Right.
Yeah. I laughed at people that were talking about like, oh my God, I can't believe this is happening. This is the worst thing in the world. This is a slap in the face to all Americans, blah, 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 blah.
I mean, I will admit that I did watch the other halftime show just because I don't like Bad Bunny's music. So I just turned into the other halftime show because I like Kid Rock.
I will tell you that I watched a little bit of it because we were at a bar and they didn't change the channels.
Sure.
So, and nobody cared. Like, I didn't care. In fact, I told this one girl who was like bapping her mouth, I'm like, just shut up. Yeah. Nobody cares about what you think. If you want to watch the other one, watch it on your phone. It's great. Do whatever. Nobody cares about a halftime show. This is a football game. That's it. End of story. You want to go crying about this? All those, listen, and I'm not political in any way, but all the Republicans that are all bitching and crying about a halftime show, listen, worry more about the country itself than what's being played at a halftime show. All the Democrats who were lauding it and whatever, listen, you know what they got going on in Virginia? Where all the Democrats, they took over that state and they voted in 50 new taxes and gave themselves a 150% raise. You know what? There are bigger problems in the world than who is playing the halftime show.
Yeah, especially when you figure they're on stage for the maximum of 15 minutes. Like, I feel like anybody can deal with whatever for 15 minutes. I mean, there's songs I don't like that come on the radio that I don't even take the effort to do this to change the channel. Right? You're just like, I don't like this song, but, it's 3.5 minutes, so who cares?
Yeah, not only that, like, it's like, I didn't understand the word, and it didn't matter to me because you know what? I ain't singing his music.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm waiting for the second half to start.
Jamie, it's not a half hour. They have to set up the stage. They have to tear down the stage. The artist only plays for about 15 minutes of the halftime show. The halftime is about a half hour.
Yeah.
But I mean, when you're building the entire set out there for them to do it, that takes them about 6 to 8 minutes of that to tear up, to set up, and to tear back down.
That's why they had all the grass as people.
Yeah, because they had to be able to run it out there. Yeah,
right.
Absolutely.
It was faster for them to rather than trying to get stuff to go back and forth. You know what I mean? So, hey, listen, who cares? It's a halftime show.
I'm just
curious. What? That guy, they got paid $0. He got paid $0 to do the halftime show.
I'm just curious to see if
they was actually one of the pieces of grass.
Yeah, I'm just curious to see if they do what they did this year going forward, where they have an alternate halftime show on another network.
Yeah,
they've done that for the last 4 years.
But it didn't. They may have done it the last 4 years, but it didn't seem like they've marketed it as much as they did.
Because this one was politicized. That was the biggest thing. And Jamie, Kid Rock's probably was longer because they didn't have to set up and tear down in the middle of a football game.
Right. And you know what? I heard he lip synced the entire time. He's sitting there and he wasn't even singing for real. It was all fake. So who cares? Again, who really gives a shit about who is singing a song at the halftime?
Exactly. Besides, if you're an actual football fan, you're probably not watching it anyway. You're going to get more food and whatever you're drinking and whatever because you didn't want to miss any of the game.
Right. Exactly. So it's like it's so ridiculous. And the only people crying about the halftime show are people that have nothing else better to do except cry.
Well, and it's funny because, I made this comparison before. The people that are complaining, they're like, oh, I'm going to boycott the NFL because of this and because of that. And that would be like me saying I'm boycotting Sephora. It's like, I don't shop there anyway. So me saying that has no value. The people that are like, I'm going to boycott, it's like, you weren't watching anyway. Like, shut up, sit down.
Yes, Donna, this is a Bucky shirt.
And, not for nothing, Roger Goodell is woke. He's a woke guy. He's a woke guy. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's in his best interest to be woke. He is dealing with a organization who operates at the lower level at 70% minority.
There you go.
And at the upper level at about 1%. He has to be woke, or else it's not going to make sense. It's not going to play right.
Right.
Because listen, for him to make sure that everybody at the top tier makes all the money, he's got to make sure that he makes everybody at the bottom tier happy.
Yep.
So, and this guy was from Puerto Rico. Last time I checked, Puerto Rico was in the United States.
Exactly. That's probably the part that's cracked me up the most. It's like, you guys don't even know why you're mad. They're like, he speaks Spanish. It's like, yeah, so does like a third of the planet. Like,
right.
So, and then the other thing was that, we were so upset that he carried all the flags of every country in North America and South America.
Okay.
They call those continents America for a reason. Even in the between both North America and South America, they call that Central America.
Yeah.
You know what? We are called the United States of America. So it's like it's so many weirdo stuff that is so ridiculous that it's people, like I said, it's people crying because they want to cry. Listen, I served my country. I am very big into the veterans, the people who have risked their lives, the cops, the first responders, the police, the fire departments, all that stuff. All of that stuff is great. You choose to do that. We live in a country where you can choose to do that or not do that.
Yeah.
I actually look at it as more of a big deal. Like, listen, if you don't like this country, but yet you want to go you want to represent our country in the Olympics, then you got to be able to do. You got to be able to. You don't get to politicize the flag or whatever. You don't get to. You don't get to do all that stuff. You got to represent this country, and you have to represent this country in the right way. You don't get to play these games later.
Yeah. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with liking the commercials or the halftime show or whatever, but the people that are crying are the ones that don't really watch the game anyway.
Yeah.
Right.
They're just complaining to complain. But speaking of the Olympics, women's hockey team rolls through Canada. Yeah. I mean, they absolutely destroyed it, that entire first grouping.
Yep.
Hey, let's
five
go.
goals every single game.
Way to go,
5-1, 5-0, 5-0, 5-0.
Yeah, insane.
Way to go, Wisconsin. That's all I can say.
Absolutely destroying people. So that was pretty amazing.
Canada had never been shut out.
Yep.
Welcome to the party.
Hey. all six of the first line starters for Team USA women were born in Wisconsin. So all I can say is go Wisconsin.
Okay.
Canada,
well, there ain't nothing else to do except ice skate because the whole lake is frozen right now, right? I know Lake Erie's completely frozen. Like so frozen that it had a crack in the middle that you could see from space.
And then I didn't see the men started yesterday, right?
Yeah, the men started yesterday. USA's first game is Sunday, I believe.
Oh, okay, so the US hadn't played yet.
No, first game yesterday. Italy. Finland and Slovakia played yesterday.
Gotcha.
So Italy lost to Sweden yesterday, but they actually had a good. They were doing well. It was like 3-2 with like 10 minutes left, and then all of a sudden it wound up being 5-2. So game, but Italy is not known for their hockey, but they are known for their losing.
Yes,
they are losers.
Slovakia beat Finland 4-1 yesterday, which was actually kind of a bit of a surprise because Finland's usually one of the better teams come the Olympics. And then Sweden, like you said, dominated Italy 5-2. Switzerland beat France in hockey this morning 4-0, and Canada plays Czechia in like 30 minutes.
Okay, yeah.
Oh, United States does play today. They play 2 o'clock.
Yeah, I was going to say
2 o'clock for Latvia.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, and that's an easy one.
You would hope.
As long as they're not overlooking them.
Slovakia, though, isn't a surprise to beat
beating Finland as easy as they beat them. I think was a surprise because Finland's always one of those teams that's always in the running for like first, second, and third towards the end of the groupings and everything. Just watching them beat Finland as bad as they did, I think it was more the surprise than having them beat Finland.
Yeah, but Czechoslovakia itself is like that whole country, Czech Republic and Slovakia now and stuff like that. They were always really good at hockey. So it's not like that's not a big surprise to me. Finland has not produced the amount of NHLers as they have in the past. Sweden's still doing it, but for some reason, Finland has kind of fallen off a little bit. They have their greats. They have a couple of greats, but not anything beyond that. But the curling, I tell you, these curling matches are really intense.
Right.
When I watched the other day when it was the men and women's, like I already knew what who won and who lost. Like I knew that the Americans won the silver. And even watching that match, it went down to the last puck, you know what I mean? Or last stone. Yeah. Which was kind of cool to see. Like, it was like, I'm like, ooh, like what's going to happen? And, it's interesting. I mean, that stuff is actually kind of cool to see. Then you watch the 4-on-4. I'm like, do you really need 4 guys to play this game when you just watch 2 people do it?
Yeah, you got the 3 with the brooms, and you're just like, I don't know that that's really necessary.
Just gives more people a chance to go to the Olympics and win.
like I said,
yeah, I guess
it was
I don't know.
it was 4 years ago that the U.S. men's curling won, and they looked like four guys, like four dads that had had too many sandwiches. You know what I mean? But that's
that's
awesome.
like,
They won.
well, it's kind of funny how you kind of use that description. Obviously, like the World Baseball Classic starts in like 3 weeks, but the I think it's the Czech Republic team that's in their second career World Baseball Classic. None of their 30 players on the roster have ever played professional baseball. They just grabbed 30 random dudes on the street and said, "Come in for a tryout, see if you can hit and throw a baseball," and they just put a team together. So it's a bunch of random people like ages 28 through 40 that are just showing up to play 5 games, get smoked, and then go home.
Do you believe in miracles? No.
Not this time. Especially when they got to face, I think, Dominican Republic and Cuba in the same pool. I'm like, yeah, that's going to be fun for you guys.
Cuba's got a little bit of a problem right now. So
does Puerto Rico.
Puerto Rico, much less than Cuba. But
well, no, with the insurance thing, which is why so many of the Puerto Rican players aren't playing in the WBC this year because Puerto Rico wouldn't grant them insurance. Because they're a host nation, so they don't actually get the Major League Baseball insurance. So if anybody were to get hurt in the World Baseball Classic in Puerto Rico is responsible for paying their insurance. Puerto Rico didn't want to do that. So now you have like Francisco Lindor and a lot of these like major league players from Puerto Rico that are pulling out of the World Baseball Classic because the country's not paying their insurance if they get hurt.
Oh, that makes sense. Puerto Rico doesn't have a lot of money.
Yeah, that's why like Japan in the United States and then the other, I think it's Japan, Korea, and the United States are the other three host countries which have obviously no problem paying the insurance if people get hurt. But then you have Puerto Rico where it's like, I don't want to fork over insurance to 5 countries if people get hurt on my soil.
But they're still a host country?
They're still a host country because there is enough players that are willing to still do it. But like guys like Francisco Lindor, who's obviously injured right now, he's had like a nagging injury since the end of last season. Had he done this and gotten hurt worse, any sort of rehab he would have had to do, Puerto Rico would have had to pay for it as opposed to the Mets and Major League Baseball insurance. So,
well, wasn't it Diaz that got hurt too? Like Diaz, like 3 years ago.
Yeah, Edwin Diaz tore his Achilles, but that happened in Miami. So Miami obviously didn't matter at that point.
Got you. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if how they all want to do it, but.
Yeah, that is kind of crazy that they don't want to pay the insurance. I mean, like if you got a guy that is already dealing with nagging injuries, you probably prefer he doesn't play anyway. But
and then you have Javier Baez who can't play because he smoked marijuana 3 years ago and he was on a 3-year international competition ban.
Oh, funny.
So this is year 3 of that ban.
So also, it's funny as we're talking about this and not paying. Or paying is really what this comes down to. I did a little bit of research because I saw the thing about Sam Darnold, how he made $176,000 to win the Super Bowl and has to pay $248,000 in taxes to California. And it was like, well, how is that even possible? Like, what made this occur? And ultimately, because he was there for a week, and California says, okay, since you were there for a week and you were working for that week, getting ready for the Super Bowl,
it's a per day.
You get a per day. And he wound up getting a lot of bonus for winning the Super Bowl. He got $1 million bonus just for winning the Super Bowl. He got like $4.5 million worth of bonuses.
Yeah.
So him paying $278,000 in tax is not a big deal, or 270 whatever it was, but it is kind of funny that he made 176 and is paying like 248. I think is the number.
Right.
It is wild to go play the Super Bowl and lose $70,000. Like that is not what goes through your mind when you're thinking, oh yeah, they're going to go and he's going to do fine. Now, some of that had to do with the fact that those taxes also are part of his regular season also, right? Because he was down there obviously playing LA and San Francisco. So those same rules, still California, right? And so the couple of days that he was there before those games also play into that. So it wasn't.
That number, the 248,000 was only for the week.
Oh, see,
they said that there's more and above that he has to pay.
I got you. Yeah, because the first version of it I heard, it included that. So, but okay, so either way, right? That just means he has more California taxes to pay.
Yeah.
Well, this is the reason why. This is the whole reason why anybody who becomes a Dodger is getting all this money deferred.
Yep.
And they're deferring it to a corporation that's not in California.
Yeah.
It's
exactly.
So it's like ultimately it's like, oh, okay, so they won't have to pay that tax. Truth of the matter is that I hope that the Dodgers get crushed on that tax.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, anybody that's not a Dodgers fan looks at what they've done and you're like, I hope this fails miserably. But then they already got a ring out of it. So, I mean, obviously.
Two rings out of it, technically.
Yeah.
So they got the first ring with Shohei after they deferred his massive deal.
Yeah.
And then they added all those other pieces last year and got the second ring.
Like I said, I have a feeling this year you're going to see baseball start to self-police.
Or you're going to see Manfred kill it because of the announcement he made yesterday about saying that he wants to create an in-season tournament, and it looks like it is going to frickin' happen.
Oh, is it really going to happen?
Yep, the owners are for it and everything. I'm like, what the hell are we doing?
I hate all these gimmicky things these leagues are trying to do. Like, just make the guys play.
So, like, you have the World Baseball Classic every 3 years, which is still going to happen every 3 years. But then the 2 years that the World Baseball Classic doesn't take place is when the in-season tournament is going to happen. And basically what it is, it's going to be kind of set up like the NBA where instead of having like your 4 pool play games or whatever, every team's going to have 7 what they call pool play games, just random games that they pick throughout the year. It can be 7 random games, or it can be basically a 3-game series and a 4-game series that'll count for your 7 pool play games. Then the top 8 teams would advance to whatever round and go down to the top 2. And then the winning team is going to get extra draft picks, extra international spending money, and some extra incentives.
The winning teams.
Like the team, like, so you have you'll have all 30 teams have like their 7 pool play games.
Yeah.
And then the 8 teams with the best record through those 7 games would advance to the quarterfinal round, whenever that is. And they said it's probably going to be around the All-Star break. So instead of a 4-day All-Star break, you might have like a 10-day All-Star break just to get these games in. So then you would go from the quarterfinals to the semifinals, and then you'd have the championship game between the 2 teams. So then the winner of
that quarterfinals and stuff, that's just a 1 game.
Yeah, but it'll be just 1 game.
And then whoever wins that moves on.
The semifinals, which will be 1 game, and then the championship round will be a best of 3. And then the winner of
the winner of that gets more draft picks.
So the winner of that will get extra draft picks. So instead of getting like your standard 1 pick per round and then maybe like a compensation pick, they'd be getting extra first-round picks, extra compensation picks. They'd be getting extra money for international spending. They'd be getting extra incentives.
So your best team is going to get stuff to get better.
Yep.
That's kind of what it is that I'm saying too.
Yeah, so we're just trying not to have competitive.
Yep. That's why I said Manfred is a moron and just needs to leave before 2029.
Man. Well, that's cool. Good on him. You know, it's the old intro. Baseball is doing everything they can to try and ruin it.
I mean, the only good thing that he might do before he leaves is get Major League Baseball to expand to 32 teams. But even at that point, all the damage he's doing prior to getting to expanding to baseball, it's not going to make a difference.
I mean, it's hard to believe that baseball should be expanding when they keep losing viewership.
This year was their highest viewership they've had though since 2021. Like this year's viewership.
I understand. I'm just saying compared to other sports,
it's
sliding. And so I mean, yeah, it's rebounding from COVID, but so is everything.
Yeah.
And you're looking at a probable strike.
Mm-hmm.
They've already slid down to the 4th most watched.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I don't see how any of this is going to help them. Adding a couple more teams doesn't fix that problem either.
Nope, because like I said, he wants to try to get back into Montreal, obviously, because that market, and then you got Nashville, Charlotte, and Portland are the other 3 markets he's looking at putting a team in.
No, like I'm not mad at the cities getting a team.
No.
That's not what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I'm just saying you have a sport that isn't supporting what you have.
I think it'll change if they go into a lockout, that's going to affect it even more than what it already has. But if they can agree to something before a lockout happens, and it's kind of like the best of both worlds, maybe there's not what you would call necessarily a salary cap, but maybe there's stricter penalties for teams that go over like a certain point, like the luxury tax right now, you get penalized, but you have the first tier, the second tier, and the third tier. But once you pass that third tier, it doesn't matter how many millions of dollars you go past that third tier, you're still getting taxed like the same amount of percentage past that third tier. So let's just say they don't want to put in a cap, but if you go like X amount of money past that final tier, if you go like maybe we'll say $100 million past that tier, instead of getting taxed 30%, you might be getting taxed like 60% now. Like if they put like more,
that's still a cap. I mean, that's more like what basketball does.
Yeah, but if they maybe I could see like more fans getting interested in baseball again if you like put stricter penalties on the teams that go over these caps, and at the very least put in a salary floor where you're forcing every team to spend a certain amount of money to get to like a certain amount of point on your salary cap. So like $95 million is where every team's payroll has to be when the season starts. Then every team has to at least be semi-aggressive in free agency to sign a couple people to get to that dollar amount. I think that will bring more viewership back because now every team could have one superstar player.
Sure. And Jeremy, let me get back to you on that. As far as guys at the combine, it would be cool to have you talk to somebody. I just don't have a name for you offhand.
Mendoza.
He probably doesn't go to the combine. The presumptive number one.
Ty Simpson.
Again, usually your top 5 guys
Jennings
don't.
Dunker. Jennings Dunker. That's who I want you to talk to.
Okay.
Offensive lineman, Iowa.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
And then
that guy looks like he would be awesome to talk to.
And then Jeremiah Love, Jeremiah Love, I think would be a good one because he's going to kind of be in that same situation as Genty last year, where he's going to be like the top running back, and then everybody else is going to be like a second or a third round back after him.
Well, he has a first round grade.
Jeremiah Love's a first round back, but I'm saying he'll be the only back that probably goes in the first round, and then everybody else will be like so much later.
Yeah, well, I got to say hello to him. I got to talk to him for a second. He's actually a good guy. You know, like I said, I talking to him for a second, and he didn't let the bright lights Google eye him. You know what I mean? You know, he was actually kind of cool and grounded is a good word to use there.
Yeah.
Is even as much as I don't like Notre Dame. So.
I mean, he's a great player. He did seem like a pretty level-headed kid. So, yeah.
Smaller than I thought he'd be.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Not a real big guy. Like you could tell he's like kind of got some stock to him. He's stocky, but he's not like I'm taller than he is. So he's like 5'10", 5'9".
I think he's like 5'10", 212.
Yeah, I was going to say, I thought he was like 205, 210, something like that. He's not a huge guy.
So, but yeah, if you can get Dunker, that guy looks like he is the next one that will represent garage beer.
You should try to talk to the Vikings GM when you're there. Oh wait, we don't have one. Never mind.
I mean, you will by then.
No, we won't. We're not hiring your GM until after the draft is over. They are literally
Doesn't make any sense.
They are literally letting their VP of player personnel handle everything from the combine through the draft, and then when the draft is over is when they're hiring their GM.
You're
I
gonna
will give you.
you're gonna hire a GM and give him no say
That's
over
yep.
the
That's
team.
That's our thought process in Minnesota right now. Great thought process.
You know, y'all deserve to lose.
It's a bold strategy, Cotton. It's going to work out quite well.
I mean, at that point, just get rid of Jefferson and blow the thing up, because that just sounds like you're not even trying to fix them.
They're so messed up right now.
That is amazing.
I will give you a little bit of a word of advice. If you go up to Howie Roseman, the GM of the Eagles, do not go to shake his hand. Give him a fist bump. That will go a long way.
There's a lot of people like that. They do not like handshakes anymore.
Yeah, give him a fist bump. And if you gave him elbow bump, he'd probably talk to you more. So,
I mean, I have a list, Ron. We've been making bonehead moves since 1998, going back to Herschel Walker. So I got a long list we can hand out.
Does he have like a germ
yes.
thing? Okay.
Yes.
Got that Howie Mandel.
Wasn't there an issue with Andy Reid back in the day with Howie Roseman where he didn't know that Howie Roseman had like the germaphobe thing, and Andy Reid tried to give him a hug, and Howie Roseman's like, nope.
Oh, funny. I mean, if you don't know, you don't know,
yeah.
Right? I mean, so yeah.
Yeah, I've done. Yeah, like listen, I know better now. Like I don't even bother giving him a fist bump. I'm like, yo, Howie, how you doing? If he decides to give me a fist bump, he's got to put his hand out first.
Sure.
But I touch too many people for me to offer.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's funny because, you know, I never really think about it because, you know, my wife and her friends are, you know, huggers, right? Because a lot of them are, you know, from Latin countries and stuff. So I don't even think about it. So when you run into somebody like that, you're like, oh, sorry. Like, you know, I'm around people that like hugging is their thing, you know? So it's, yeah. So anytime you run into somebody that's got a germ thing, it's like, oh, hey, my bad. Like, I didn't know.
Well, so either way, just letting you know now.
Yeah.
Did he say, hey, thank you, Minnesota, for screwing it up?
Yeah. Even Darnold was like, hey, thank you, Minnesota, for screwing it up.
Well, no, if you caught his post-game celebration in the Super Bowl, he pretty much told Minnesota to F you without saying it, basically, when he gave Mike McDonald a hug. Thank you for believing in me when all these other teams did it. And I'm like, son of a bitch, you ass clown.
Like, hey, they wanted me here.
It's like, it's not like we didn't believe in you. It's that we had a moron GM. It's just like, God, that pours more salt in the wounds right there.
No, I mean, you didn't believe in him. As simple as that. You're like, hey, we believe that you should play somewhere else.
Yeah. That's why as soon as they showed the post-game celebration and I heard that, I'm like, golly.
Yep. Yeah, and he had something very similar to say at the trophy presentation yesterday. Yeah. So
I have no ill will against Sam Darnold. Like, I'm happy as hell for him. I was mad when we let him go because even if like he wouldn't have had the same type, I mean, like statistically speaking, he did have a down year this year compared to what he did in Minnesota. Like touchdowns were lower, interceptions were higher, completion percentage was lower, the yards were lower. Like he did not have as good of a season statistically. He had a better team around him. But at the same time, like my thought was, regardless if we have JJ McCarthy, how can you justify letting someone that won you 14 games walk out of the building without some sort of a contract offer? Like if you give him an offer and he says no, that's different. But you didn't even offer him a franchise tag. You didn't even offer him anything. Like how can you justify yourself as an owner? Like, oh, he won 14 games, but we're not going to give him nothing.
Yeah, no, you guys gave him the don't let the door hit you in the ass on the way out.
Right? Like when we traded.
Makes me think of Phil Collins. That Phil Collins song. How can I just let you walk away? Just let you leave without a trace.
Yeah, because look at like the situation with like Brett Favre, like the situation with Brett Favre when we traded for Brett Favre the first year when he went 12-4, got to the NFC Championship game and lost after he got his ankle broken up. We didn't just let Favre leave the building the next year. Like, we knew he wasn't healthy, but we're like, okay, you won us 12 games. You got us the NFC Championship. Do you want to come back one more year and see if we can do it? We gave him a 1-year deal. Same thing with Kirk Cousins. Like, he was never great, but he consistently got you double-digit wins and got you to the playoffs. So it's like, well, you've done this now 4 years in a row. We're not going to just let you walk out the door. Here's a no contract. Come back for 3 more years.
I mean, statistically, he was pretty solid for you guys.
Who?
Cousins.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. Like, he consistently gave us like 30 touchdowns. He
wasn't great. So he played pretty good for you guys.
No, I know he did, but that's what I'm saying. He got, like, he was averaging like 10 to 11 wins a season for like 5 of the 7 years here as a starter. That he won double-digit games, and it's like we didn't let him leave. We gave him a second contract. Like, what's the difference with Darnold, who played better than Cousins?
Yeah, well, and similarly, yeah, you didn't take a swing at Daniel Jones, which, I mean, you probably could have kept for cheap too.
I mean, we offered him more money than the Colts gave him. But Daniel Jones said before, even in the offseason, he's like, I think he took $14 million with the Colts, and the rumored offer in Minnesota was like 18. And his basic reasoning for leaving was, I felt that the decision was already made that J.J. McCarthy was going to be the starter regardless how I played in preseason. So he basically had the impression was, even if I come back and I outplay McCarthy, they made the decision to go with McCarthy, so I'll take less to get a starting spot somewhere else.
Well, and it would be easy to deduce that as truth because they just didn't give Darnold anything that won them 14 games. So, yeah. I would have looked at that situation the same way. Be like, okay, you're going to give me what sounds like a lot of money to be a backup, but it sounds like the decision is what it is.
And that's why they got stuck with Carson Wentz. You could tell, like, they didn't, like, Carson Wentz is a backup quarterback, but if you really wanted to have like some competition for McCarthy, you would have went out and got like a Marcus Mariota. You would have went out and got like a Jameis Winston or some sort of a backup that could actually push McCarthy in training camp. Getting Carson Wentz was basically like, okay, you're a backup. You're here. If he gets hurt, you go in. And then McCarthy got hurt and Wentz went in until his shoulder fell off.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. All you have is guys that get hurt.
Not Darnold. Darnold didn't get hurt. He won a lot of games too.
And that's why you don't have him. Because you guys are in the market of quarterbacks that get hurt.
That's why we can't have nice things in Minnesota. We abuse them.
Yeah, and it's funny because we were talking about this. Darnold is kind of that Eli Manning. Like, he's going to catch lightning in a bottle a couple of times getting in the playoffs, but he's not an elite talent. He's good.
He's an elite
job, but he needs
an elite talent with an elite roster.
There's nothing wrong with needing all the pieces around you.
Yeah, he's an elite talent. Yeah,
he's just not one of the top 5 guys.
No,
which is fine.
Yeah, and you don't need. I mean, was Brad Johnson or Trent Dilfer a top 20 quarterback when they won the Super Bowl? No, they just had a ton of talent around them.
I wouldn't compare him that low. I would compare him to like a prime Flacco or something like that. Like, effective, right? Yeah. Dilfer was like, hey, don't mess this up.
Brad Johnson was like, hey, defense, do a lot of work for me. I will throw a couple 5-yard passes for first downs.
Yeah, so I don't view him in that same light. I look at it more of like a Flacco kind of situation. So if the things around him are great, he can match that, right? But he's not the Josh Allen, let me throw the game on my back and go win this thing. Like, he does need a lot of things around him, which again is fine. You can win that way, obviously.
Breaking news from Jeff Passan. Jeff Passan just spoke with MLB executives about the upcoming CBA, as some of them want to start discussing the CBA this summer. According to 20 of the 30 owners, the owners are ready to burn the effing house down to push for a salary cap. And if there is no salary cap, they don't care how long it takes until baseball is played again.
Well, there you go. There you go.
So this could be more than a year out of baseball if it gets to that point.
Tell you, somebody should get that new league ready.
Somebody will get that new league ready, and his name is Theo Epstein. Just saying.
I don't know.
Theo
With
Epstein's
the last
been
name, with
Theo
the last name Epstein, I think he needs to get somebody else.
well, Theo Epstein's been Rob Manfred's right-hand man in the commissioner's office for the last several years because the plan was to put him in Rob Manfred's place when Rob Manfred left. But if it gets to where we're not going to have baseball for a couple of years, he might just leave on his own and start his own league, be the commissioner of that.
Oh.
Yes. The comment right there with Derek Carr. That actually got leaked yesterday that Minnesota actually does have interest in bringing Derek Carr in.
Yeah, why wouldn't you?
If he can pass a physical.
Yeah, like if you're Minnesota, you got to be taking a real look at a Derek Carr, a Kirk Cousins, a couple of guys that you can get for cheap that can help you bring your guy along.
Yep. So Derek Carr and Kirk Cousins are the two veterans that they're looking at, and then Malik Willis was also name dropped just because he's younger and he kind of brings a different element to Minnesota's offense that they haven't had because of his running ability.
Yeah, see, I don't think they're going to do – I don't think they'd go that route. They're going to want a guy that, can be a good veteran mentor that isn't necessarily really competing, right? Like they want 9 to be the guy.
Not according to KOC. I don't think KOC does. He just knows he's stuck with him right now. That's why if I'm going to make a move like that, I would probably be more willing to go Derek Carr because if he can prove that he's healthy from that shoulder injury, he's 34 and you can get a couple of years out of him versus Kirk Cousins is 38 and you might only get 1.
Yeah.
I don't know that I'd be going to any quarterback that's over 30. Just my opinion. But
normally I wouldn't, but the way Minnesota's offense is designed, you want a veteran that can run that type of a system.
That's the thing, right? Like the rest of that roster is ready to go.
Yeah.
So if you are looking at somebody that is a below average guy, that doesn't help you out. You might as well just stick with McCarthy.
Yeah.
Because this team outside of the quarterback position can be highly competitive.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're waiting for McCarthy to become that guy, a lot of these guys might not still be on your roster by the time.
That's my biggest fear is, like you said, this is a roster I'm not going to say they're a Super Bowl roster, but they're a roster that's built to win like the division now and built to get to the playoffs.
With competent quarterback play, they are a playoff team.
Yeah, but if you think that you can sit here and wait another 2 years with McCarthy to see if you're your guy, all these guys under contract are no longer going to be under contract by the time that year comes. So then what are you doing? Resetting everything in 2 years if it don't work?
Exactly.
I don't know. Yeah. I think J.J. McCarthy is going to make for a great offensive coordinator someday.
Well, there you go.
Or
that quarterback today, though.
Yeah, that means exactly how it's said too. It's like that he's not a good quarterback.
Yeah.
He's going to make a great offensive coordinator.
Yeah.
Because he puts in all the work that an offensive coordinator does.
Mm-hmm.
He just doesn't have all the tools. It reminds me a lot of Peterson, Doug Peterson.
Mm-hmm.
He was really good at the X's and O's, but he couldn't really execute the plays.
And it's not that the execution part of it, too. It's just that he has so many bad mechanics that he developed in college that he was able to get away with because of Michigan's like running game and how that offense was built. The mechanics have now turned into a bad habit that he can't break. Like his footwork is never where it's supposed to be, which is why you see so many throws like sailed all the time. He always gets late reads on like all these first, second, third options. Like he's looking at the right option, but he's reading it about a second to 2 seconds too late. And by that time you can't make that throw and he still makes it.
Yeah.
That's exactly correct. Guys who don't play or can't play, coach.
Exactly.
You see it in baseball too, like for like catchers, for example. Like how many catchers were considered backup catchers in baseball, but they make great baseball managers? Like those are the players that turn out to be good managers because as a backup catcher, you're just kind of hanging out on the bench. You're just kind of doing a lot of the behind the scenes stuff, and all of a sudden it's like, I've been on the bench the last 12 years, barely playing. Why not try to coach? And they end up being good coaches.
Yeah, and Jeremy, that's exactly right. Everybody on this panel talked about the fact that he was never really asked to do much in Michigan, and that draft pick seemed like a reach. I mean, it was a defense and run first offense, and he had to throw a few balls. But the NFL is different.
And it's not only that, like even when he did throw at Michigan, he had a very high completion percentage of like 72%. So like even when he was asked to throw at Michigan, he could still make the throws you needed him to make. He couldn't even freaking do that this year. Like he had a 53% completion percentage.
But the point is you're talking about playing in college where the guys on the other side of the line have 4 or 5 NFL caliber guys at best. And then you're going now to playing in a really tough division, and the worst team in the league has 53 All-Americans. This is not apples to apples here.
No.
There's a reason why there's so many college athletes that come to the NFL, and it just doesn't work because they're used to seeing a few guys that are at their level and they're one of the elite guys. But when you're just surrounded by elite athletes, right? And we're calling the 1%, the 53rd man, a scrub. Like he was dominating everything to get to that point.
Mm-hmm.
So it is wildly different to be good in college than in the NFL. And that's why so many flame out.
That's why I'm almost at the point now where if you're going to draft a quarterback that you see as more of a project, kind of go the Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen route where they didn't come from like one of these Power 5 schools. Like Texas Tech is considered a Power 5 program, but they weren't like an elite program when Mahomes was there. And he struggled at Texas Tech. Like he wasn't great. He put up decent numbers, but he wasn't great. Josh Allen came from Wyoming, which is the same situation. They were a 6-6, 7-5 team every year where he put up great numbers, but overall didn't play that well. But then you get him into your system. The difference with those guys are they actually had to work to get to where they got, as opposed to a 5-star recruit going into a big program and the job is handed to you from day one. They have the work to put it in.
You can look at it the other way too, because I mean, sometimes it's just the way the team is constructed. You can get a decent fit.
Mm-hmm.
Seattle drafts Jalen Milroe from Alabama, right? And he's a project, no question. But the way that our quarterback room's set out is he's in no danger of playing, right? You have Sam Darnold, who's your presumptive starter moving forward. Drew Lock is, your backup, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like he is a solid backup when he has to come in. He can win games. So Milroe is that third option. And so he gets to actually sit there and develop, which is great for him. It's the exact path that Anthony Richardson should have had instead of being thrown out there and just beat up.
And it's a path that the Packers take with all their quarterbacks.
Yeah.
They sit them for 3 years and just like, you might be good enough to start right now, but we're not starting you yet. You're going to sit here for a little bit.
Yeah. And honestly, that's the way the NFL used to be, and it was highly effective. So that being said, that does get us to the top of the hour. If you've been watching with us, be sure to like and subscribe. Helps us bring our content to you. Otherwise, we are going to get out of here. We'll see y'all tomorrow. Enjoy the rest of your Thursday, everybody. Take it easy.
Peace.